interrogation. Who are you? I am. Who? I am. How? I am. What? I am. Where? The heart. All. I am. Why? Because am I am. In sadhana, integration on every aspect of our lives, on all levels, in all states, and all bodies, has to occur. Everything has to come up. All the dross. You have to be willing to see it, face it, burn it up, and let it go rather than latch onto it. What comes up is not the problem. The problem is what we do with it, for good or for continuing it. We have to be willing to be determined to learn from it. So if you look at it, everybody makes mistakes. Everybody. And everybody in sadhana, whether they want to or not, reverts back. Everybody does. I don't have a problem with that. The problem is watching people latch onto it and believe in its goodness, in its rightness, in its realness. If 5 minutes before it wasn't reality, then how is it now reality? Where's the memory? When we're caught in a vibration, we are 100% in that vibration. But if we are doing sadhana, there better be the, oh my God, I am caught in a vibration. It is not who I am. I know this vibration. I've been here before. This is not me. This is not who I am. And I am going to fight on all levels to get clear from this. When people start telling me the story that I have heard from them 1,000,000 times, when they start living their lives for months on end, caught in the delusion that they used to be caught in, I go, wow, I guess my work is fruitless. People who do that are actually torturing. They like to torture. Because once they're in that vibration, they're going to go after the person who makes them feel threatened. Because who they are is the idea that they're caught up in. And they're not going to let it go. They've latched on. Because they believe they never have to change. They know who they are. And then they're determined to extinguish all threats by torturing the person who they perceive threatens them. The cause, greed, anger, and delusion. This is from Taimony. It should be noted that these three are the conditions of the mind which precede wrong thoughts, feelings, and actions. Which means that these are pre-verbal vibrations that people don't want to accept within themselves. And as those vibrations grow, they want them to blossom. They allow them to be free, and they believe them to be who they truly are. Greed is the condition of the mind which produces the desire to grasp things for ourselves. Anger is the agitation of the mind produced when any person or thing stands in the way of fulfillment of our desire. Delusion is the conditioning of the mind which results when we are attached to any person or thing. All these conditions of the mind bring about a clouding of the intellect, which renders a person incapable of judging right and wrong. It is this confused and unenlightened state of the mind which provides the necessary soil for wrong thoughts, feelings, and actions. And once we're caught in it, we're not going to go to the resource and say, "Can you help me burn this up?" I'm seeing that this is not who I am. Those things are not going to be said, thought of, looked at. And it's so sad. Sad. We have to be great listeners. Not just outside, inside. How willing are we to listen to our own vibrations and call them what they actually are. People who are caught up in their five senses and looking out as if they're there. They are empty when someone speaks. And they believe that they are listening. But actually, nothing is going in. Nothing is comprehended. They have no agency. When they are thinking, they are just thoughts. So there is no consciousness. And somewhere in this, they believe they're doing sadhana because they have no feeling. And if they have no feeling, there's a belief that they're clear or something. Listening is not a passive activity. You have to be engaged in order to listen. Quality of thought has to have empathy and fused with consciousness and deep feeling. If it doesn't, no one should be listening to it, including you. The success of your system means the failure of you. Again, everything has to come up. And it does. And if you don't realize that it's come up 1,000,000 times before, really? You don't realize that? We're all bored seeing the same thing. You should be also. Are you just living, being your old self now? Who you believe yourself to actually be? How sad. How sad. Yeah.
Can we work on burning up "I'm angry" this morning? Can we burn that up?
It's not just anger.
Mm-hmm.
What is it?
Hurt? Anxiety? I don't know. I just feel the anger. What is it that I'm not feeling?
Are you bitter?
Yeah.
Is that okay with you?
Yeah.
Are you content with happiness?
No.
Is that okay with you?
Yeah.
Do you want and do you have it your way?
No.
Is that okay with you?
No.
Are you a loser?
Yeah. No.
No.
No, I'm not.
Is that okay with you?
Yeah.
Are you actually excited about your work?
Yes.
Does that make you a loser?
Yeah.
Are you going to allow yourself to be a loser?
No. Oh, this is so stupid. This is so stupid.
So stupid. And it doesn't matter what the action, the activity, the thought, any of it. This is it. So hold that. Demetrius, are you bitter?
Yes.
Is that okay with you?
Yes.
Are you content with happiness?
No.
Is that okay with you?
Yes.
It was a no.
No.
Do you have it your way?
Yes.
Your answer was no, I want it my way.
Yeah.
Is it okay that you don't have it your way?
No.
Are you a loser?
Yes.
Your answer was all the time. Is that okay with you?
No.
And so, do you go to a vibration and then operate from there so that you will no longer be a loser?
Yes.
And does it always, every single time, make you into a bigger loser?
Yes.
And yet you keep forgetting. And is that vibration you go back to, is that your childhood?
Yeah, it's my everyday.
It's your everyday. Is it real?
No.
Yeah, your answer was, I only think it is. Do you think that if you do it correctly, you'll finally get to have your way?
Yes.
Do you believe that other people around you growing up lived this way, with that vibration?
Yes.
And they won?
Yeah.
Did they really win?
No.
But you still think emotionally that they did, correct?
Yes.
Okay, hold that thought. Harvey, are you bitter?
Yes.
Is that okay with you?
Yes.
Are you content with happiness?
No.
Is that okay with you?
Yes.
Is it correct not to be content with happiness?
Yeah.
Do you have it your way?
No.
Is that okay with you?
No.
Your answer was no, not at all. Are you a loser?
Yes.
Your answer was, I refuse. So is it a yes or a no? Are you a loser?
It's a no.
It's a no. Is that okay with you that you're not a loser?
Yes.
Okay. And can you three see the similarities of the vibration?
I knew it was coming to me.
Wait, I missed it. What?
He said, I knew it was coming to me. Correct. So where are you sitting, David, right now? Are you under a tree with a bunch of apples by yourself?
And you know what it was? I was so happy last night doing the work. I went to sleep and I got up this morning and that was no longer an option.
No longer an option. Harvey, where are you sitting right now?
Right now I'm hot, but I think okay.
You're sitting in a tight little ball and you have no options, correct?
Yeah.
Though there are a million options. Demetrius, where are you?
Definitely in the box. I think I see an opening.
But you're in that box.
I'm in the box.
Yeah. And are all three of you the starring actors in this game?
Definitely.
Yeah.
And everybody is supposed to be the supporting actors who are supposed to, even if they don't say anything, are willing to be the part that you decide for them. Correct?
Yeah.
Now, let's burn it up. David, where are you now?
Happy.
Quiet.
Same thing.
Are you bitter?
Yeah.
Is that okay with you?
Yeah.
Are you content with happiness?
Yes.
Is that okay with you?
Yes.
It is in this moment, is what your answer was. You're not banking on it, are you?
No.
Do you have it your way?
No. Yeah, I actually
Yes,
do.
you
I
do.
actually do.
Is that okay with you?
Yeah.
Are you a loser?
Yes.
100%. Is that okay with you?
Yeah. It's just fine.
It's just fine. Demetrius, where are you right now?
Still.
You are so relieved, it's unbelievable. Did you think this is who you are?
Yes.
Is it who you are?
No.
It's still lurking. Do you think you're Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde?
I do.
And so you're both So when you're Mr. Hyde, you're Mr. Hyde, and it's who you are, correct?
Yes.
Was it ever really Mr. Hyde, if you understood the story?
Yeah.
And was it ever really Dr. Jekyll?
No.
Correct. Are either of them you? No. Are you bitter?
Yes.
Is that okay with you?
Yes.
It is right now. Are you content with happiness?
Yes.
Is that okay with you?
Yes.
Do you have it your way?
Feels like a no.
No, it was a yes. And it was in this moment. Is your system happy with this?
No.
Correct. Is it okay with you that it's okay to have it your way?
Yes.
Are you a loser?
Yes.
Is that okay with you?
Yes.
Almost 100%. You're not quite there, but you're over 50-50, so we'll give it to you.
Thank you.
Okay. Can you see and feel this?
Yes.
And do you know the vibration that you had that brought you to act the way you did?
It's strong. Yeah. I feel it. But yeah, I'm starting to get a little separation.
That's what you want, that separation. You want to know, oh, I know this guy. Because that's where you were before you started any of it. Got it?
Yeah.
You were already there. It took over, and bam. You went down the rapids. Harvey, where are you now?
Much quieter, but I feel like it's like when you're learning to ride a bike. You feel a moment where you're there and have the balance, and then you're falling either side.
Yeah, you don't want to do Hyde, Jekyll, Hyde, Jekyll, Hyde, Jekyll. You want to stay steady as she goes. The middle path is not one side or the other. It's the middle path. Are you bitter?
Yes.
Is that okay with you?
Yes.
Are you content with happiness?
Yes.
Yeah, it was I am today. Is that okay with you?
Yes.
Are you or do you have it your way?
No. Yes.
The no would be, does your system have it its way?
Okay.
No. Do you ultimately always have it your way?
Yes.
Is that okay with you?
Yes.
There was a bit of a no in there.
Okay.
Are you a loser?
Yes.
Is that okay with you?
No.
No, not completely. So what you want to work on is be really okay. So somebody the other day said to me that they knew that I had said that Baba always talked about the whatever God does, he does for good. And that was something that they were keeping remembering. And I said, yes, Baba did say that, and it is what God does, but God doesn't always make it easy. And I did a laugh. And the person responded, I'm not sure God ever makes it easy. And this again goes to we need to ride the horse in the direction it's going. But if we're determined to be backwards and going, oh my God, 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 it definitely doesn't look like God is doing this for good.
I have a question on that. Last week, when I had the most recent email from my mother, I had picked that up right before giving a presentation to about 300 people, and it was supposed to be fairly important. But I remember in that moment feeling like this is perfect. Like, what a sign that I need to loosen up and just, be me. I wanted to check. Like, the word that comes up is blasphemy, because I don't want to, forget where I am and be reading something where I could be mistaken, which could be dangerous, I guess.
So, what was the vibration of that you had during your presentation?
In the presentation, I ended up feeling relaxed and communicative, so I could respond to questions. And a similar presentation I'd done about 6 weeks ago, I was rigid, and I was really disappointed with myself afterwards.
So what do you think that email did for you?
I think, first of all, it reminded me to go in. And it reminded me, one thought that came up was like, oh, this is easy, like, relative to what the training ground was. Like, I can do this. And these people aren't going to be my mother.
So
I wasn't sure. Sorry.
So do you need to have pain and torture in order to motivate you to do sadhana and be relaxed?
Yeah.
So in response to that, this particular person is in horrible pain. And I said to them, because they said they are having incredible sadhana, it's very successful right now because they're going in, it's working. I said, so you want external pain all the time in order to motivate you to do sadhana? It is actually better to just go in and not require the nightmare of pain, horrible memories, or whatever, physical pain, emotional pain, mental pain. Better to just practice all the time. Sahaj Samadhi is walking bliss. It's being in the heart and looking out simultaneously, which would leave you no room for alternating between horrible pain, go in, horrible pain, go in, horrible pain, go in. Just stay in.
And so that explains also then why in the week after I ended up creating that vibration of setting Elizabeth up to recreate the vibration.
Right, because you didn't deal with it. It was there, and then you're required to manifest it. Instead, what you could have done is, oh, the vibration's there. I can burn it up. I can be with it. I don't have to. So I watch people burn up karma, clean it up, and then go back to the misery. And I'm like, no, I'm not a garbage collector. No, I'm not a garbage incinerator. The burning up of the karma is to give you the opportunity to choose to stay there. Not to, oh, thank you, I just confessed. I'm in the little box with the priest. We've cleaned it up. And now I can go back to normal. No, it is showing you what it's like. You have to be content with happiness. Are you?
No.
Rarely, not all the time.
Yeah.
What I keep saying for people with Shaktipat, with sadhana, is the whole thing of getting used to the awesomeness of love, of God, of truth, of happiness. People aren't used to happiness. They can't handle it. Gotta go back. I gotta go back to that salt heap. I can't sit and eat the sugar. The one who sits and eats the sugar, it's got to go for the salt. I can't. I mean, they keep going back and forth. No. You got to give it up. And for some reason, people don't want to give it up. So in this moment, do the three of you know that that vibration is not who you are?
Yes.
Demetrius?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so Demetrius, do you want to go back into your head and say no?
I do.
Now you understand why the people who sit in the class with the hollow eyes staring at me are doing.
Yeah.
And why you, Tammy, yesterday, though you knew the answer, gave me a different answer.
And I'm so sorry. I could feel it now.
I don't want the sorry. The sorry is part of the perpetuation.
Yeah. So what I wanted to say is I could feel now how I refused to feel then. And I had thoughts about it rather than just feeling it.
And so then you needed to inform me and show how smart you were in that email. Without understanding, if you had gone a little bit deeper, you would have seen a whole different story.
Yeah, and it would have been so easy. And even with wearing my mask in the garden, I was denying myself. I knew I wanted to smell this Sakura coca, and I was denying myself that by doing that. And I only thought about that. I didn't feel that vibration.
Trust me, the birds, the squirrels, the rabbits, and Mr. Fox are not contagious COVID-wise.
I'm so stupid.
You said it. I did.
I know. Can I do the bitter forkotomy with you?
Are you bitter?
Yeah, all the time.
All the time was your answer. Is that okay with you?
Yeah.
It's the way to be, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you couldn't handle from last week's class, and this goes to Harvey, you couldn't handle that after last week's class when the house felt better and everything felt better, you couldn't keep it for how long? A week? You couldn't even keep it for a week. Okay that you're bitter?
Yeah.
Are you content with happiness?
No.
No, never. Is that okay with you?
Yes.
Do you have it your way?
Yeah.
Is that okay with you?
Yeah.
Your answer was, of course. Of course it's okay. Are you a loser?
No.
Is that okay with you?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Really stupid.
Yeah.
But I don't know that. I can only think it.
Yeah, you're only thinking, you don't really believe it. Because in your world, a loser is a loser. In my world, it's so much fun.
And I can feel it in my face too.
Hence the people who sit and stare with the hollow eyes, the five senses with feet. And they don't feel anything, they don't think anything, and they believe they're doing sadhana. So, I want to read a Zen story. There are two of them that I actually want to read. See if I can find them. Yeah, this is perfect. This is from the Wisdom of the Zen Masters. When a boy, Master Hakuin heard a fierce sermon on the tortures of hell. And that same evening, when he heard the flames crackling under the iron bathtub, the traditional Japanese way of heating the water, the sermon and the sound merged into one of those impacts that changed the course of a life. He became a monk to dissolve his fear of burning. With that as a spur, he trained assiduously and went through all the ups and downs such training entails. He was 24 when he had what to him seemed a tremendous experience. So much so that he thought nobody over the last 200 years or so had reached such a depth. He wanted to have it attested in the traditional way. but no master who would do so. Young Hakuin was the more convinced and decided finally to seek out a master who lived in the Japanese Alps and was renowned for his severity as well as his understanding. On his arrival there, he presented a poem that he had composed to show his insight. The Shoju Rojin accepted it with one hand, stretched out his other hand, and remarked, "I have received your poem. Now show me your insight." Hakuin was nonplussed, started to talk, was refused, became determined to show his understanding, and on being refused again and again, stayed on as he felt sure he could convince the master. And by the way, does this sound familiar at all to any of you? The master, on his side, treated him with unprecedented severity, calling him a devil's child imprisoned in a dark cave, and continually beating him. These clashes between the impassioned young man and the master, steering an exceptional disciple through the final impasse of drunken pride, went on for a year. And by the way, any of you sitting there with the hollow eyes determined to convince me, do not believe that I, for one moment, am saying exceptional disciple. Please do not do that to yourself. Then one day, Hakuin, while begging in a village, became so distraught that he failed to hear the old woman on whose doorstep he stood telling him to go away. She became enraged on seeing what she took to be an impertinent monk, still demanding alms after she told him to leave. Finally, losing her temper altogether, she got hold of a broom and hit him as hard as she could. Hakuin fell senseless to the ground and on recovering, awakened. On his return, he encountered his master, who gave one look and asked what had happened. Hakuin recounted the events. His master affectionately stroked him with his fan, and never more called him a devil's child imprisoned in a dark cave. That happened when Hakuin was about 25. Soon after, he left his master and looked after his old temple teacher, who had fallen ill. After the teacher had died, he had to take care of his old mother. Then he wandered about for a while and finally settled down in a poor temple. In his own account, he says that he was 42 when one night he was reading the Lotus Sutra. Snow was falling outside. On looking up from his reading, suddenly everything seemed to fall together and to gel. He had had many experiences, Now he saw. Tears came into his eyes, and all he could find to say was, the Zen training is not easy. Later on, he admitted that, compared with this, his big experiences and the many little ones that make one laugh and dance seemed unimportant. You can either hold on forever and go nowhere, or you can let go. And nobody cares, least of all me, if you make a mistake. I don't care. It's what you do with it that's the issue. It's whether you defend it, hold on to it, identify with it, use it to take you completely off course. God meant it for good. You mean it for ill. Sad. Okay, now I'm going to read another story, and it's for Sarah. Are you there?
Yes.
Okay, so take this in. This is also from the wisdom of the Zen Masters. The great dragon on the ceiling of the main hall of the Myoshin-ji temple was painted by the famous Kano Tanyu. At that time, the master of Myoshin-ji was Master Gudo, renowned as the teacher of the emperor. He had heard that the dragons painted by Tanyu were so realistic that when a ceiling on which one had been painted fell down by chance, some said it had been caused by the movement of the dragon's tail. When the painting of the dragon at Myoshin-ji was mooted, Gudo went to the painter's house and told him, "For this special occasion, I particularly want to have the painting of the dragon done from life." Naturally, the painter was taken aback, and he said, "This is most unexpected. As a matter of fact, I am ashamed to say that I have never seen a living dragon." he would have refused the commission. The Zen master, however, agreed that it would be unreasonable to expect a painting of a living dragon from an artist who had never seen one, but told him to try to have a look at one as soon as he could. The painter asked wonderingly, "Where can one see a living dragon? Where do they dwell?" "Oh, that's nothing. At my place, there are any number. Come and see them and paint one." Tanya joyfully went with the master, and when they arrived, at once asked, "Well, here I am to see the dragons. Where are they?" The master, letting his gaze go round the room, replied, "Plenty of them here. Can't you see them? What a pity." The painter felt overcome with regret, and in the event spent the next 2 years with Master Gudo, practicing Zen assiduously. One day, something happened, and he rushed excitedly to the master, saying, "By your grace, I have today seen the form of a live dragon." "Oh, have you? Good. But tell me, what did his roar sound like?" At this query, the painter was again at a loss, and for 1 further year labored on at his spiritual practices. When he painted at the end of the year, what he painted at the end of the year was the dragon of Myoshin-ji, a supreme masterpiece in the history of art, remarkable for its technique, but far more for the life which the artist has infused in it. It seems as if it contains the great life which embraces heaven and earth, the universe, and man also. It was to pierce through to this reality that the master painter Tanyu poured out his heart's blood for 3 years. But when the one experience of reality was attained, there was no need to seek any further. Sadhana is difficult. It is not easy. But the life, the love, the joy that comes from it is worth every moment.